Next speaker is Dr. Pranav Ranjan, who's a very experienced cataract, glaucoma, and refractive surgeon heading the Renu Eye Center at Patna. And he has a very practical tip for all of us. So let's keep watching. I think you're muted, doctor. Can you unmute yourself? You can stop and... We can't hear you. Yes. Mr. Sunil, we are not able to hear Dr. Pranav. Mr. Sunil, are you...
Dr. Pranav, can you stop share for a minute? Dr. Pranav, can you just click on the share screen button once. Bottom there is a checkbox that says share sound. Just click that.
No, I have done it now. I think
now you should be able to.
I think am I audible now?
Very good, very good. Yes, doctor.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and thanks to the ARC chairman and the AIOS office bearers for giving me an opportunity. And this is my video. Accidents can happen anytime, and cataract being one of the most widely performed surgeries, and this is at the end of a beautiful surgery, what one can come across: a broken heart tick. It's like a broken heart. Everything went off well, and this innocuous process of implanting the lens landed into this kind of a situation. And what has to be done when you do not have access to lens cutters and other things? Whatever you have in your operation table, you have to make use of that. So I made use of the iris spatula and the curved Vanna scissor. The iris spatula I used to push the posterior capsule after inflating the bag with a cohesive viscoelastic, and almost cut the IOL into two pieces, not entirely, so that I could catch hold of one of the part gradually, and with the help of a tooth forceps, I could manage to take out the entire lens. And this was a hydrophilic lens of a reputed company, and then went on to implant the IOL. This is again a second case. What I learned from the first case was that the Vannas that I was using, the lens was slipping out. So what I used is a Coughlin hook, and with the Coughlin hook, I was pushing the IOL into the mouth of the Vanna scissor, so that this time the cutting was more easy, and I could cut through the entire lens segments to make it into two halves. Again, using a cohesive viscoelastic to inflate the IOL in front of the IOL as well as behind the IOL to push the posterior capsule back. And this time it was easy for me to take out the pieces one by one. So this is the first half that I am taking out. Mostly using a two-hand technique so that the explantation is easy. The second part of the lens which is left there, again push in viscoelastics, realign it, and then take out this. This is the second part now which is left, viscoelastics, inflating the anterior chamber with viscoelastic, and then holding the second part. And taking out. I mean, this is a practical aspect. When you do not have access to lens cutter and all, you can always make use of whatever instruments you have, because these kind of accidents do tend to happen, and they don't happen too frequently, and you are not prepared for that. And ultimately, the happy patients the next day. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pranav. You had showed different examples of how to deal with that challenging moment, which just surprises you. I also felt that we could actually have used a micro forceps to stabilize the optic of the IOL, and then doing cutting would be the most easy way of doing it. But there are some other tips which I wanted our expert panel to give thoughts on. Would you hold the haptic optic? Would you want to cut it perpendicular to the haptic, or would you like to cut it parallel to the haptic? Is it necessary to cut it all the way through? Is it all right if you cut 3/4 of it? That is one question which I want. The other question I want is how are we going to prevent a broken haptic to happen in the first place? As he has shown in one of his videos, what tip do we have for the audience? And the third question, what is your take about twisting and turning out a single piece IOL? These were 3-piece IOLs, single piece IOLs. How do you twist it without cutting it? Your experience on that. I want both Dr. Ramamurthy and Dr. Kamal to say. Yes.
Seniors first.
Oh, I thought you were senior, Kamal, anyway.
He was disconnected for a bit. Huh?
Anyway, I mean, as regards preventing this from occurring, I think, whenever you face any resistance while injecting, it's better not to proceed. Most often this occurs when the loading of the lens is not all right and the plunger is overriding the optics, and we are using force to introduce the lens inside. In case you find any kind of resistance, in that case, it's better to abandon further injection, open up the cartridge, reload the lens. If necessary, a new lens can be used and then proceed. Then you could avoid it. As regards the hydrophobic intraocular lenses, in my experience, what I find is this is something which we more often find with the hydrophilic intraocular lenses. With high quality hydrophobic acrylics, this is very rarely an occurrence. And I would definitely recommend investing a little bit on serrated scissors and specific lens holding forceps which can go through a side port. With that, you are able to stabilize the lens very well and cut the lens in a much more planned manner, in a much more elegant manner, though Dr. Pranav did manage to do his case very well. And as regards cutting the lens itself is concerned, I think cutting it into 2 halves is counterproductive. If you just cut it into 1/4, and then especially if the haptic is still attached, then you can just bring the lens out through a hand-over-hand maneuver. Just rotate the lens through that 2.8 millimeter incision that you have there. And as you could see, even in Dr. Pranav's second case, once he had cut just into 2 halves, removing the second half without any haptic attached to it was a little more of a challenge than removing the first half. So even though when the going is good, you feel like cutting right through, it might be a good idea just to cut into 1/4 and using a hand-over-hand maneuver to rotate the lens out.
Yes. Dr. Kamal?
I agree with Dr. Ramamurthy. Actually, I feel for a beginner, getting away with a 1/4 cut could be a little tricky. But even if you touch nearly 50% of the cut of the diameter, it's very easy to rotate the lens in, out, hand-over-hand technique, and it works great. One tip for beginners is while you're injecting the lens, the feel of the pressure itself is a giveaway that something is going to happen. So at that point, stopping and evaluating rather than injecting the lens inside the eye and then realizing that you're in a stuck-up position with the haptic broken or the haptic twisted upside down or whatever is a bad situation to be in. So each time you realize that there's a lot of pressure in your injector system plunger, there is a big warning sign. So I guess for a beginner, you should pull out and push the lens outside, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. A lot of times you'll be saved out of the trouble. And now I actually be saying something which again controversial, but I speak things from what I do every day. For last 5 years, I've stopped cutting lenses. We have these broken haptics. I simply enlarge the wound with a 5.25 millimeter keratome. We have a stock of them in our operation theater. I enlarge the wound, either my main wound. If it's me, if it's a junior surgeon operating, I train them to go from a scleral approach, make a 5.5, 5.25 incision, a tunnel in the sclera, pull the lens out, and then go back, push in. So again, it is a choice. But if left to me, I would probably enlarge the wound to 5.25 or 5.5, pull the lens very comfortably, because all the maneuvers of cutting the lens tilting inside the eye, at times hitting your endothelium. You can have iridodialysis. I've had 2 videos where my juniors were trying to, cut it. They had iridodialysis. So in expert hands, like the video we saw, of course, it works great. But I guess it's not a bad idea. In case you're not sure, you don't have proper tools, that's an alternative. You can enlarge the wound to 5.25, 5.5. And believe me, out of 5.25, 5.5, these hydrophobic lenses also come out. Hydrophilic lenses come out very easily. Until unless it's a very thick lens, you're having a 26, 27 diopter lens, you might know to go. And then you can close it with infinity sutures or web-controlled sutures on your wound, and it works. So this is least traumatic, easy way out for a beginner surgeon. That's my single.
Dr. Chitra, can I make a comment?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, ma'am. I think very well, nice tips given by Dr. Ramamurthy and Dr. Kamal. Even rightly said, when you encounter resistance, that then just short of taking out the injector and checking it, what I do is I just pull the plunger back, put little bit of viscoelastic through the tip of the cartridge, and then inject again. If I still find resistance, that is the time I don't push it further. And second point, I also don't cut the lenses inside the anterior chamber. I increase the incision to 5.25, and we can still do sutureless surgery. Because what I found in my cases was a lot of endothelial damage, and on the first post-operative day, you don't have the results which you want to see, the pristine clear cornea. So I've started enlarging the incision to 5.25 and take out the lens and inject again.
No, I submit that this is definitely an alternate way of doing it, but please get the right instruments. It's hardly costs.
Yeah. You
have the serrated lens cutting instruments, and there are also forces which come specifically for holding the lens. You're able to hold the optics, stabilize it, and then use this thing. Cutting a lens is fairly easy, and I think investing it will cost about 10,000-12,000 rupees even to get it from a good company. It's a investment well made, and you could end up with a.
So the idea of presenting this video was that when you are not prepared for that kind of an accident, when you plan it to cut the lens and exchange the lens, then one can always have it. But when one does not have, and one lands into this kind of a situation, this is the option one can always avail. And I agree with Dr. Kamal Kapoor that extending and then explanting the lens is another option if one is not confident enough to tackle the situation he is in.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much. They were all different viewpoints which were discussed, and it's all essentially your expertise and the instruments.